ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
On this hour of Eyewitness News, there is breaking news out of Texas tonight. A destructive tornado causing damage outside of Houston.
Here in Chicago, we're bracing for snow. We are tracking the timing and what it could mean for your commute work tomorrow.
Plus, police in California investigating several mass shootings in a matter of days. Tonight, what we're learning about the victims.
And allegations of ethical misconduct involving multiple Chicago mayoral campaigns.
And you've been waiting for it all day. Later on tonight, countdown to the Oscars, the top films nominated this year, the history also being made already, and the notable snubs. We will be talking about that as well. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on this Hour of Power on this Tuesday. I'm Cheryl Burton.
And I'm Karen Jordan.
We begin tonight with breaking weather news. A powerful storm hitting the Gulf Coast today with a destructive tornado causing damage east of Houston. You're looking at video just into our newsroom showing damage in Pasadena, about 15 miles southeast of Houston. You can see the damaged homes, downed trees, and the fire chief there is saying that it is unbelievable, almost miraculous, that only one injury has been reported so far.
Devastating pictures when you look at it. And there's another big problem following those storms in the Houston area: gas leaks. As you can see, take a look at this fire right now. And this is the same storm system that will bring snow to our area tomorrow. Salt trucks and snow plows are already standing by.
Wow, very interesting on that. At least we did see the sun once again today. We're thankful for that right before this storm hits. Greg Dutra now joining with the ABC 7 AccuWeather forecast. Hey, Greg.
Hey there. And the sun we saw eventually was covered up by clouds that are attached to that same system that has been making its way through Texas. Now, obviously, we're on a very different side of that, the much colder side, but these are the clouds from it, an expansive one at that, stretching some 1,900 miles plus across the U.S. At least that's how far it's creating alerts. It is cloudy. It is calm right now, down about a degree from our daytime high, but this is what it looks like for your morning drive. Snow for everyone by 7 o'clock in the morning, probably by about 5 o'clock in the morning. Those snow showers continuing. I expect the roads to be the worst between about 8 and noon time, and then we're still seeing snow, but it's slowing down, and crews hopefully will have a chance to play some catch up for your evening drive, but I still think that evening commute is going to be affected by snowfall. All right, so when does that snow arrive? Well, here's 10 o'clock past there to about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's when the snow sets in. Probably doesn't really start accumulating, you know, like on the roadways until about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Then it's mostly going to be bridges and on-ramps and off-ramps, and the major thoroughfares start seeing their real accumulations about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, right, as a ton of people are out on the roadways. Active snow through the late morning and into the early afternoon. Again, we'll track when this wraps up and how much snow backs it up, all coming up in just a few minutes.
Right. It's going to look a lot different tomorrow at this time, Greg. Thank you. Now to breaking news tonight out of Gary, Indiana. Indiana State Police there say they are investigating a shooting involving the Gary Police Department. It happened on Chase Street. Police say there is no threat to the public. We do have a crew on the way. We will have an update as soon as we get more information into our newsroom. Now to California, where the governor there, Gavin Newsom, visiting Northern California today after a gunman killed 7 people at 2 separate farms.
I feared 2 days ago that Monterey Park would give way to other headlines. Little did I know I'd be up here.
Well, that shooting was one of 3 mass shootings in the state in the last 3 days.
And first, it was the Lunar New Year celebration in Monterey Park, then the Half Moon Bay shootings. Police in Oakland are now investigating a shooting near a deadly gas station, and separately, a shooting at a convenience store also on the West Coast in Washington State. ABC's Rena Roy reports from California tonight.
Well, Karen and Cheryl, the numbers here really just say it all. There have been 39 mass shootings across the country in the first 23 days of this year. The 3 here in California over the last 3 days, leaving at least 19 dead.
Multiple shooting investigations underway across the West Coast. In picturesque Half Moon Bay just outside of San Francisco, officials identifying a possible motive in the massacre that left 7 dead and 1 injured Monday evening.
Only known connection between the victims and the suspect is that they may have been co-workers.
Police say the gunman, 67-year-old Chun Li Zhao, opened fire at 2 farms 1 mile away from each other with a legally purchased semi-automatic weapon.
Cases like this, we've never had one in this county of this many deaths at one scene.
Hands up! Hours later, the suspect found in the parking lot of a police substation and arrested. This comes after 11 people were killed during a Lunar New Year celebration in Monterey Park, California over the weekend. All of the victims in their 50s, 60s, and 70s now identified, including Shou Juan Yu, 63-year-old Lilan Li, and 68-year-old Valentino Alvaro, a father and grandfather. His family saying, "We hope that he danced to his heart's content until the very end and hope that he is now dancing in heaven."
And there is still no known motive in the Monterey Park shooting. Officials investigating a potential domestic violence scenario. In Half Moon Bay, California, Rena Roy for ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
And police in Yakima, Washington say that the man suspected of killing 3 people at a gas station has taken his own life. They found him in a shopping area after getting a tip from a caller. Police say the man shot himself while they tried to take him into custody.
Well, back here at home, hundreds of people packing a meeting today weighing in on DuPage County Sheriff James Mendrick's decision to not strictly enforce the state's new assault weapons ban. He was not at today's meeting and hasn't commented on it yet, but he previously called the law a, quote, poorly written piece of legislation.
I fully support Sheriff Mendrick, and I thank him for his courage and honest dedication to upholding his obligation to the Constitution of the United States.
I've been a lifelong resident of DuPage. I should be able to trust my sheriff to uphold the laws.
A downstate judge has issued a temporary restraining order that prevents the law from being enforced, but only for the plaintiffs in the lawsuit.
Tonight, a warning from Evanston police after a woman says 2 men tried to kidnap her in broad daylight. Police say it happened yesterday afternoon in the 1200 block of Fowler Avenue. Kate Kogirin is at Evanston Police Headquarters, where investigators spoke this afternoon.
Investigators are reviewing surveillance video captured from the area, including residential security cameras, with the hope the video could be key in identifying and capturing these attempted kidnappers.
An 18-year-old woman is safe tonight after fighting off attackers in what Evanston police called an attempted kidnapping. Authorities say around 4 p.m. yesterday, the woman was on her way to work, walking on the 1200 block of Fowler Avenue near Crane Street, when she noticed a gray sedan driving in her direction before parking across the street.
2 male subjects exited the vehicle, grabbed her, picked her up. At that point, she fought them off and ran southbound in the 1200 block of Fowler to her workplace.
Police say they canvassed the area immediately after the incident and were able to gather surveillance video, but were not able to find the 2 suspects.
Police say the 18-year-old was not injured in the incident. If you have any information that could assist investigators, please contact Evanston Police. In Evanston, Kate Kogirin, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Kate, thank you for that update tonight. Now to a murder mystery. An $8,000 reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest in the murder of a Chicago father. Ramiro Mendez was shot to death last weekend while standing outside his home in the 5300 block of West Altgeld. Today, his family gathered to ask anyone with information to come forward.
He basically was outside of his home waiting for his dog to come out to take out the dog. That is something that any of us could be doing at 3 in the morning. Don't deserve to die like this.
Investigators say they do believe Mendez was shot by someone inside a black sedan. He leaves behind a wife and 2 young daughters.
A 16-year-old student at Oswego High School has been arrested over what police are calling a perceived threat of violence. School officials called police this morning, saying the boy had created a targeted list of names. Police say they found that list and took the boy into custody. He's been charged with felony disorderly conduct.
And new security measures are put into place following crimes near a South suburban school, Jesse White Learning Academy in Hazel Crest. There's now an increased police presence after a drive-by shooting nearby and a car theft on school property.
We want our students to be concerned about getting into college instead of getting home.
Well, the effort also includes parent patrols.
The family of a construction worker who died in a Bronzeville building collapse has retained a law firm. Pedro Santiago Mateo was trapped under the rubble for more than 45 minutes. His family in Mexico has hired a Chicago law firm that's looking into the cause of that collapse.
Well, classified documents have been found at the Indiana residence of former Vice President Mike Pence. That, according to a lawyer for the former VP, who says he asked them to review the records stored in his home. In a letter, his lawyer states that Pence immediately secured the documents that he previously did not know were there at the home. In November, Pence told ABC News that he did not take any classified documents from the White House.
Let me ask you, as we sit here in your home office in Indiana, did you take any classified documents with you from the White House?
I did not.
The Department of Justice has not commented on the most recent revelation, but it's already using a special counsel to investigate documents found in President Biden and former President Trump's possession.
The first COVID-19 case in Chicago was detected 3 years ago today. From a shortage of PPE to long testing and vaccine lines, and now back to normal, COVID has evolved. Infectious diseases specialist Dr. Alfredo Menalora says what has surprised him the most about the virus is asymptomatic transmission and how quickly science developed ways to control COVID.
We have tests that are easily available for us to use at home. We have pills that can prevent you from progression, and we have very powerful vaccines.
And the effectiveness of the vaccine is why Chicago is not experiencing what many predicted to be a post-holiday surge.
And an email scandal involving Mayor Lori Lightfoot's campaign will now be investigated by the Chicago Inspector General's office. Now, this comes after one of the mayor's campaign staffers tried to recruit Chicago Public School students to help the campaign. The Board of Ethics confirming a complaint filed against the Lightfoot campaign has been referred to the Chicago Inspector General's office.
We take the issue of the misuse of city resources for political purposes really seriously. That represents an abuse of a public position for political gain.
And Mayor Lightfoot says she shut down the externship recruitment process after learning about it and called it a mistake. The mayor's challengers say they welcome the investigation.
And there are other allegations of ethics violations tonight involving a different mayoral candidate. It has to do with this video showing Willie Wilson handing out cash. ABC 7 political reporter Craig Wall has more on the video and reaction from Wilson, who makes no apologies for what he did.
People who answer, maybe a couple people, we're going to give $100.
Willie Wilson visiting a senior home on Chicago's South Side last Friday, creating excitement with residents with a cash giveaway. But this is also generating concern on the campaign trail.
You're running for mayor of the city of Chicago. You're passing out money to our older individuals in their senior homes and with campaign literature. If you add it up, it's totally unethical.
Wilson also posting on his campaign's Facebook page another cash giveaway, one of 5 similar stops he made that same day. Wilson defending his philanthropy as it's something he's done for years.
We always done that. I'd rather lose the election versus see somebody starving to death.
In fact, Wilson came under scrutiny in 2018 for giving out cash at a church where he campaigned with Governor Bruce Rauner. The State Board of Elections investigated but cleared Wilson of any wrongdoing. Mayor Lightfoot's campaign calling Wilson's recent cash handouts seriously concerning, adding, "We all need to protect the integrity of the vote. Even the appearance of vote buying must be taken seriously by the Board of Elections." Wilson denies he was trying to buy votes.
I don't have to do that. I wouldn't do that. It wouldn't be fair to me. I don't take advantage of anybody.
Enough is enough. But as Jesus Chuy Garcia launches his first TV ad in this campaign, hitting the airwaves Wednesday, he also was raising concerns about Wilson's campaign.
He may have good intentions, but there are campaign ethics and there are laws that prohibit an effort to buy votes.
Wilson says regardless of the scrutiny or the optics of his cash giveaway, he will still continue to help people in need. He says that is more important than winning an election. Craig Wall, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
And that ad that Craig talked about in that report has newly been released by the campaign for Garcia, now grabbing the attention of the Chicago Police Department's Bureau of Internal Affairs. Now, in this ad, the congressman is seen walking with and talking to Chicago police officers. Well, today, Chicago police confirming an internal investigation is underway into potential policy violations related to this ad. A department policy bans sworn members from taking part in political activities while wearing their uniforms. And just moments ago, Garcia's campaign issued this statement. The campaign complied with all Chicago Board of Ethics rules. The officers were off duty, end quote.
Well, there's a new effort to honor Marshall Major Taylor. He made a name for himself on the world stage in the late 1800s and early 1900s as a cyclist. But today, Taylor's achievements are not as widely known.
Incredible story here. As race and culture reporter Will Jones tells us tonight, a Chicago organization is working to change just that.
Cyclist Marshall Major Taylor was not a Chicago native, but he spent the last 2 years of his life in the city. His final residence was here at the historic Wabash Y, where today a campaign was launched to honor Taylor with a congressional gold medal.
He went through things that people today could never even imagine.
Karen Brown Donovan is the great-granddaughter of Marshall Major Taylor, who was once the fastest cyclist in the world, taking home the gold medal in the 1-mile sprint event at the 1899 World Track Championships. His story was featured in the short documentary, The 6-Day Race, the story of Marshall Major Taylor.
When I was younger, my classmates, friends had not heard of Major Taylor, whereas they'd heard of other African-American athletes, when Major actually came, in some cases, 40 to 50 years before them.
Brown Donovan is in town to support a new initiative by the Bronzeville Trail Task Force to celebrate the first Black American superstar athlete. The task force is pushing Congress to award Taylor posthumously with a congressional gold medal. They're also hoping to erect a monument in Taylor's honor as part of the Bronzeville Trail Project.
He needs to be in the pantheon of great Americans, great African Americans who've contributed mightily to this country.
I think that he's starting to get the recognition that he deserves, and it's wonderful to see it evolve.
Brown Donovan wants more Americans to know about Taylor's accomplishments and the racism he endured just to compete.
I would love to see Major Taylor's story told in every public school in the country. And it's an initiative like this one that'll help make that a reality.
For more information on how you can support the Bronzeville Trail Task Force's efforts to honor Taylor, go to abc7chicago.com. In Bronzeville, Will Jones, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
I love these stories. You always learn something new about your own Chicago history.
It's just phenomenal history and a remarkable legacy there. It makes you want to learn even more about that, you know, and teach your children, of course.
Absolutely.
You know, and I like where the great-granddaughter said it should be in every school. So
for sure,
more history about Chicago. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for sharing that with us tonight, Will. Still ahead, though, for us, countdown. Yes, to the Oscars, everybody. We're talking nominees. We're talking top categories and a lot more.
Oh, a lot more. But first, we are tracking the snow moving into our area overnight. Greg is keeping an eye on it. It could cause some problems for your morning commute. More details still to come. Welcome back, everyone. We've been talking about snow headed our way, how we haven't really seen a ton of it yet this winter, but boy, oh boy, we may be making up for it the next couple of days there.
I know. We haven't seen the sun either
No.
a lot, so it's like we're getting both. And maybe there's a correlation. If you get the sun, you get the snow, or you can't have one without the other. Is that kind of true, maybe?
I get, well, yeah, it's like the
I'm no
yin and
meteorologist.
yang.
I just play one on TV.
Yeah, no, it's like the yin and yang of winter. Like, we've known the whole time that we're going to be paying for this at some point.
Right.
Here we are. This isn't a steep price to pay, but when you look at the 7-day forecast, you're going to be saying to yourself, yeah, it looks a lot more like winter. Main issues here, snow is affecting both the morning and the evening drives for tomorrow. So that is going to be an issue for us. Accumulations along with active snowfall during our drive time on the morning is the biggest issue there. But as we head into the evening, the active snowfall should be wrapping itself up for the most part, but the lingering effect of the accidents and everything going on during the day, and active snowfall too, that'll be happening all the way through lunchtime, will likely linger into that evening drive and probably affect that one moderate to highly. It depends. The problem is we haven't really gotten our winter driving shoes or boots, I guess, on at this point. So I just don't have a great feeling about the roads during the middle and end of tomorrow in terms of people behaving themselves. 35 degrees our temp. It has been dropping in a lot of locations, 32 in Aurora, 34 degrees out in Joliet, 33 in Piatone. As you take a look here, you can see that, yes, indeed, the cloud shield has arrived, and further inspection, those clouds are attached to the system that is scooting in from the south. St. Louis right now seeing some rainfall, but not too far off from seeing snow. The system a little bit dirty at this point in terms of what's rain, what's snow, what's severe thunderstorms. But as it makes its way north, of course, it gets into colder air, and you're going to be noticing a lot more of the blue stuff showing up on the radar. Now, the core of this tracks its way off to our south. Kind of makes its way here through southern portions of Indiana and central portions of Indiana. Same deal with Illinois, and then into southern Canada too, kind of through Toronto, and then into the Adirondack Mountains of New York, the White Mountains of New Hampshire. I skipped the Green Mountains of Vermont, and also forgot about the White Mountains in New England too, out in Maine. But we don't need New England geography right now. We need to know how expansive this system is, and it stretches those winter weather alerts all the way from central Texas all the way to what's called down east Maine, kind of out here around Bar Harbor, up to around Halifax. There's actually a little channel cat that goes along there. But anyway, it's 1,900 miles long, going all the way over there. And again, that's not even continuing to consider the Canadian alerts that are out for this thing. Futurecast showing why it's getting alerted, and that's because there's a good amount of snow with it. And while we only get clipped, it's still a decent amount, anywhere from 2 to up to 5 inches of total snowfall. As temperatures start to warm, though, during tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a period of mixing, and that could help knock down some totals locally, kind of in like this little bubble here. I'm not convinced you're going to have 4 or so inches on the ground in Kankakee County and southern Will County when all is said and done, because of those warming temperatures and the compaction of the snow when it's a bit wetter and heavier. But check out this Chicago snowfall graphic. These are all the weather models for the city of Chicago, kind of all combined. The agreement here is almost eerily similar, 2.8 and 2.8. Like, I love that the weather models are in complete agreement, but again, it's just a little fishy to see them down to 1/10 of a mile. I'm sure there's nothing to it. You just don't see it very often. It's more of a fluke than anything. Temperatures expect them to start dropping off, especially as you head into the middle and end of next week, with those highs all the way down in the teens to 20s for an extended period of time, guys.
All right. It's coming. We can see it there, and then we can see 7 degrees and 5 degrees too. We're going to need Greg to stand in front of that next time, right, to block it. All right. Thanks a lot. Well, change is coming to an annual event close to our heart, and it makes us Chicago proud every year.
That's right. The Jim Gibbons 5K run and 3K walk benefits the Leukemia Research Foundation. The annual event raises money and awareness for leukemia, lymphoma, and other blood cancers. It was started in memory of our former colleague Jim Gibbons, who died in 1994. This year's event is moving from its traditional Thursday night to a Saturday morning on June 24th. It'll take place at a new location, Montrose Beach. Registration will open March 1st at gibbons5k.com. Organizers say more people are recognizing the importance of events like this.
One of the positives that came out of the pandemic
was the importance of medical research, and to have people better understand that getting involved and supporting the different causes, including leukemia, can help us all move closer to a cure.
And take a look at this right now. The Leukemia Research Foundation is also featured on the Wintrust mural building along the Kennedy Expressway at North Avenue. Anyone passing by will be able to view the mural through February 20th.
I like that. So maybe they'll get a lot more runners on a
Saturday morning. Yes.
Yeah.
I did it once many years ago.
Yeah.
It was a nice after work.
Wasn't it fun?
Event on a Thursday, but yeah, maybe so for Saturday morning, get the whole family to come out.
Get up early. I've done it so many times too on the Thursday, of course.
Right.
You know, like you said, go after work. And it's just a great camaraderie with all of us here, you know, our family running and honoring such a wonderful man,
Right.
you know, so talented, so loved. Such a great cause. So we're going to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Maybe you might run with your kids.
Maybe
if you're happy.
so.
Right.
Something like a fitness goal.
Right.
For
Okay.
a good cause, too.
Right. And it's June. It'll have great weather. We'll be checking in with Greg. Maybe he can do an advanced screening of that to see what it's going to look like.
No snow then. No
yeah,
snow.
it'll be gone by then. Of course, now Congress demanding answers today on that Ticketmaster disaster when Taylor Swift tickets went on sale. We have that story just ahead for you.
Plus, we've known Rihanna would be performing the halftime show for a while, but today we learned the Super Bowl pregame entertainers. We will be right back. The Justice Department and 8 states are suing Google over the company's monopoly in online advertising. The government alleges that Google acquires rivals and asserts its dominance by forcing advertisers to use its products.
Google controls the technology used by nearly every major website publisher to offer advertising space for sale.
Alphabet, Google's parent company, says that the lawsuit doubles down on a flawed argument that would slow innovation. Illinois is not one of the states signed on to the lawsuit.
Well, now to Ticketmaster and its parent company, Live Nation, facing tough questions today on Capitol Hill following that Taylor Swift ticket meltdown. A Senate committee questioning the 2010 merger of Live Nation and Ticketmaster that has given them outsized influence over the live event industry. Now, last year, you'll recall that Swift fans faced hours-long waits to buy the tickets, often getting locked out of the website, and Ticketmaster is blaming bots.
This is what led to a terrible consumer experience, which we deeply regret.
The way your company handled the ticket sales for Ms. Swift was a debacle.
Ticketmaster ought to look in the mirror and say, I'm the problem. It's me.
The Justice Department is investigating whether Live Nation abused its power over the live music industry. And the I-Team consumer investigator Jason Knowles took a deeper look at today's hearing. You can find his story at abc7chicago.com.
Walmart workers are getting raises. Starting next month, the minimum wage at the company will be $14 an hour. Currently, starting wages begin at $12 an hour. The pay raises bring Walmart closer to many of its competitors. Target and Amazon have both raised their starting wages to $15 an hour. Well, the lineup is set now for the Super Bowl pregame entertainment.
Well, since the Bears aren't in it, so we have to have something to look forward to. That would be halftime, right? We already knew that Rihanna will be performing, of course, the show at halftime. But now we know the country star Chris Stapleton will sing the national anthem. Oscar winner Troy Kotsur will perform the national anthem in American Sign Language, and Babyface will perform America the Beautiful. And Cheryl Lee Ralph of Abbott Elementary will sing the Black national anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. What an incredible year Cheryl Lee Ralph is having, or incredible 2 years.
Absolutely.
That lineup is fantastic. Chris Stapleton,
yes.
Babyface.
It's going to be amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
looking forward to that.
Really good day on Sunday. Get your snacks together. Just get on the couch.
Yes.
Have a good day. And the Oscar nominations are out.
Coming up next, we're sharing the top nominees, the biggest surprises, and the biggest snubs. We're going to talk about it, so come back with us.
Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3.
All right, it's time. We're talking nothing but Oscars right now.
That's right. We've been waiting for this. The nominations were announced this morning, and of course, Sanders is with us to break it all down. So happy to see you, Jose.
The expert. Yeah. See, we having couch conversation.
Yes.
We got to get comfortable because we're having couch conversation.
I don't know how to sit on a couch.
I know. I need an extra pillow right here so I can get comfortable here. Everything.
So you want to do it?
Let's go, Jose.
So there seems to be like one critical darling heading into the awards on March 12th. The film Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, leading the nominations with 11, and that includes some historic nominations for acting.
Wow. Okay, so we want to get into some of these categories. That's what we're looking at. That's going to be amazing.
All right, so the first set announced this morning were the ladies being considered, of course, for Best Supporting Actress.
And they were announced in alphabetical order, so that means there was no big wait to learn that Angela Bassett is nominated for her role in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So also nominated was Hong Chow in The Whale, Kerry Condon in The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and Stephanie Sue in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Now, Angela Bassett, of course, makes history as the first performer nominated for a Marvel movie. And this marks the first ever Oscars nomination for Jamie Lee Curtis. Can you believe that?
See, and you know, I love this group because 3 of them are in the 60 and over club.
Yeah.
And that just says so much about the future of the Academy Awards acting I mean, and Jamie Lee Curtis, you would have thought all of
she's
her.
already won something too.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? But
Angela
this
Bassett,
is
too.
supposed to be Angela Bassett just to walk up there and claim.
I mean,
it.
well,
You know.
we're going back to when Jose, because you know he hangs out with all of these people. Last year, he was everybody that's nominated. He hung out with them last year,
right.
and Jose came back from all of his interviews with everybody from Wakanda, and Jose clearly stated, he said Angela Bassett was going to be nominated for an Oscar and win.
She will win. And
right.
she will win. I mean, the performance, now it overcomes whatever kind of genre it is. That acting is, I mean, she takes you there. And besides that, this is Angela Bassett.
Right.
And she's at her most Angela Bassettness.
See, is that a word, Jose?
I'm making it up. She is there.
That's a Joseism.
She's regal. She brings it. She pulls back. One little thing she can do with her voice.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And she goes all the way back to she should have gotten it from way back.
Right.
And she really made this role her own. So
she is the queen. She is the queen.
Yeah. And the fact that Chadwick Boseman his spirit was alive and well the entire production. They prayed about him every day before they got started. And it feels like he was channeled through her when she really said, I'm queen. So,
Right.
All right, Jose.
Well, we got to talk about some snubs. Y'all think it was
Do
some
we
snubs?
have to? Yeah. Okay, well, go ahead.
There was a one woman named Dolly De Leon from Triangle of Sadness. She should have been in it. And Janelle Monáe was not nominated at all. And Janelle just took this one for a glass of onion. This was, look.
That was amazing. I don't know if you've seen it, but
Yeah.
that she did it.
She's
Janelle Monáe was
powerful
amazing.
too.
Yes.
Powerful. She can do anything.
Oh.
And you know, she's gonna do
the remake, right? The biography.
Josephine Baker.
Of, yes,
She's doing
Josephine
Baker.
She owns the movie rights to that.
Yeah, she's finally going to get it made. She's been trying for a while, and you know she can do it because of the singing and the dancing and all that. So.
She's multi-talented. I got to talk about though Danielle Deadwyler for Till, Emmett Till. She was not nominated, and her rock star performance in the movie Till, hands down, one of the top 5 performances of the entire year. And I know we got to talk about something
She's one
else.
to watch for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
And we're going to now talk about the Best Supporting Actor nominees.
All right, the nominees right there: Brendan Gleeson in The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry in Causeway. He's a Morehouse graduate, just so you know, Jose. Judd Hirsch in The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan in The Banshees of Inisherin, and Ke-Huy Quan in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. 11 nominations for that movie, Jose.
Yeah, Quan left Hollywood for a long time, you know,
Unbelievable.
for decades. Remember, he was in Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
He was a little boy in Goonies back in the 80s. Now he's back on the
great to
screen.
see him.
First ever Oscars nomination. People thought he kind of disappeared, but there were just no roles written for Asian men.
Wow.
And so he came through with a vengeance, too.
So are there any snubs in this Best Supporting Actor category? Anything significant?
A lot of people think Paul Dano should have gotten it, and Fabelmans. You know,
yeah.
Judd Hirsch got it because and it's a shorter role, but it's a flashier role, and people love Judd Hirsch, and it goes all the way back to the day, you know. So, you know, people around they like that sentimentality and all that stuff. Even though most people think Paul Dano should have gotten it.
Jose, you've been covering entertainment across the country for probably 4 decades. Talk about,
even that old.
Okay, well, 2 decades. Talk about the importance of pushing for a movie, the value in that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It is a full-out campaign. We think we're in political season here.
Yes.
You remember they used to do all those for your consideration things and the ads when they had the trade papers, and they put money. Sometimes the best performances are overlooked because the studios don't put the money behind them, or they put the money behind them too soon, like The Woman King. That opened too soon, so they had to go back and re-release it and remind people of just how good this film was.
Viola Davis
It's a campaign. It is a campaign.
All right, that's really good insight, Jose. Thanks for sharing that. So let's talk about Best Actor, of course, and Actress in a leading role, but we're going to take a short break, and we're going to talk about it on the other side of the break, right?
That's stuff to get into.
I know, yes. We love this. Welcome back, everybody, to a special edition of the Golden Hour, Hour of Power, because we're talking everything Oscars. And we just want to remind you, everybody, you can watch it on Sunday, March 12th on ABC7. And this woman right here.
I will be there following up.
Yes.
Lately, the past few years, there's always been something interesting.
What happened last year, Karen? I don't know.
Something interesting happened last year. But you know what? Let's talk about what could happen this year. About the Best Actor nominees.
And the nominees are Austin Butler for Elvis, remember the Golden Globes, Colin Farrell and the Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for Whale, he gave that emotional victory speech at the Critics' Choice Award, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nye in Living.
A lot of people were talking about the After Sun actor. They were happy that he slid in there because there wasn't a lot of talk about him.
But I'm really pulling for Brendan Fraser, and because his speech and his
story
for not being anywhere from the kind of the teen idol kind of deal and kind of disappeared, and he got dogged for his appearance before this film because he gained a lot of weight. He wasn't the Tarzan kind of guy he used to be back in the day, and he transformed himself for this one right here, and he is giving a performance.
His acceptance speech was...
And people will vote because they want to see another speech like that as well.
See?
And they do that. I think people really do like the success stories.
They do, the comeback stories.
Yes, second chances.
That's what they want, comeback stories.
Are there any snubs, though? Best actor snubs?
I don't remember snubs on that one. Who got snubbed? Who got snubbed?
Well,
Tom Cruise. I don't consider it a snub. People think Tom Cruise. I don't know. Tom Cruise was not nominated for the performance in the movie.
Right.
You know what? Well,
Well, I think people were
because the film got a lot of money.
A lot of money.
I'm just not a Tom Cruise fan, but he did a lot of transformation of that character from what it was, and he brought it up and brought some nuances and some backstory and all that. He brought it up to par, but I'd never imagined him getting a Best Actor nomination.
Right.
That's just me. I never get. Nobody ever asked my opinion on this. This is strange.
Little Richard.
What about what I do?
Okay, so this is pretty interesting. We've been talking a lot about this particular category, the Best Actress in a leading role.
Jose, we're going to put you on the spot, and you cannot back out on this one. All right.
The nominees here.
Okay, first we got Clay Blanchett in Tar, Anna de Armas in Blonde, Andrea Riseborough into Leslie, Michelle Williams in The Fableman, Michelle Yeoh in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Of course, Yeoh makes history as the first Asian actress to be nominated in this category. See, some of people, not well-known names, but let's talk about who not in it.
Well, I know. And real quickly before we talk about the snubs in this category, yesterday we talked about the Razzies, Jose, because they're announced the night before. Well, Anna de Armas, the movie Blonde, got a Razzie, and I told Karen yesterday that people were talking about her performance was going to be an Oscar-nominated performance, and then today here we are.
Did.
Still,
get a Razzie and an Oscar nomination.
Right.
Who did that? Then Halle Berry? Something. I think that happened to Halle Berry once as well.
For Catwoman.
See,
she got a Razzie for Catwoman, and then an Oscar for. No, you know what? She brought her Oscar to the Razzies.
Razzies,
she had an Oscar for.
Take that.
Yeah, that's right.
She was
a good sport about that.
But Viola should have been in this to me. Viola Davis, our girl Danielle Detweiler, for Till, because you talking about a performance as Mamie Till. We were all sort of invested in that one anyway because of the story, the Chicago story. But not just our bias. That was, an Oscar-worthy performance.
Whoopi Goldberg was in that as well, and she's an executive producer of that. And they've been working on this film for such a long time. They put so much heart and soul into it.
Besides that, she just acted. She acted her butt off. This woman, she acted.
You felt
everything.
Every bone.
Your DNA. Yeah. You felt she made you tremble.
That should be, the testimony. If you tremble watching a performance and it's in your DNA, you should be nominated.
Especially when you're sitting in the theater by yourself, basically at a screener.
That's right. Yeah.
She's doing up there. And then I got a chance to talk to her, and she was so humble about the performance, and it was just a transformative thing. She was already, you knew her. You've been following her for a long time.
I used to watch her in Have and Have Nots on Tyler Perry's show.
But this one just really took her over the top. People didn't know that she could do all of that.
I mean, definitely has range. Definitely
Another
can do.
one to watch for sure.
And of course, we just assume Viola is nominated.
Oh, right.
You know?
Right.
It's Viola World.
That's the equation. Viola acts equals Oscar nomination.
There she is right there for The Woman King.
Right.
And it was a history lesson for us all to go see this. This is based on a true story about the history in Africa. And for people who went to see, they learned so much. And just her grit and soul that she worked out every day.
And she took that film on her back,
Yes.
too. And she gave so much to the other performers in that film that
Yes, she
made
did.
them better.
Right.
Made them better as well.
Lifted.
But this, when you form a film around somebody, they better bring it. And she did.
And she did.
really
She expects nothing less.
We don't
Okay.
either.
Okay.
Not from Viola. Not just doubt in that first little. when she was crying. Remember when she was crying in that one little scene with Meryl Streep?
That was all.
That was all.
That was the scene.
That was all.
Yeah.
That one
5,
crying
10,
scene,
15
and they're like,
minutes.
"Who is this woman?" I didn't even know she'd been in The Help and everything
Right,
else.
oh,
you
The
know?
Help.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, still ahead, we are talking Best Director.
Yes, plus the top award, Best Picture. Jose's probably seen them all, so he can tell us what he thinks about it. We'll talk about it on the other side of a break.
Welcome back, everybody. We're really enjoying our Oscar talk. That is all that we're talking about right now. So we have to talk about more of the top categories.
Yeah, we have our expert here, our entertainment guru, of course. So we're talking Best Director.
Don't put that pressure on me. Who are you talking about?
The gentleman to my left. You're right. Of course, Jose, take it away.
Past 2 years, women have actually won this category. This year, only men were nominated. The films and directors nominated are The Banshees of Inisherin, Martin McDonagh, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, Daniel Kwan and Danielle Scheinert. The Fabelmans, Steven Spielberg, Tar with Todd Field, and Triangle of Sadness with Ruben Östlund.
Well, okay, we're thinking Spielberg on this one. The Fabelmans, people are talking about. I think it got 9 nominations or something.
You know, and a big snub, or I'll jump all the way to snub, is Cameron for Avatar.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Look, you're talking a monumental achievement. Yes. Ryan Coogler.
Right, I was going to say him for Wakanda Forever as well.
There were so many, and all the women who get nominated. Because at first it was the Year of the Woman, and now it's like no women allowed.
No women at all got nominated. Wow. We'll be looking at this one closely.
Yeah.
For sure. Any surprises, though, in that category, though, Jose? Or that's pretty much
that's
except
it
for the
to
snubs
me,
that
because everybody was kind of building up to that Cameron versus Spielberg, the Battle of the Giants. You know, people kind of thought that, and would see what would happen. And you know.
Well, Cameron's got two $2 billion movies, so I think he's feeling pretty.
He can buy his own.
Yeah, I mean, because Avatar is Disney, that's family, so you know we
Keep
celebrate.
going, see it, y'all.
I mean, yeah, I mean, and of course, that movie made history. Zoe Saldana, the first woman to be in 4 movies that
With
grossed $2 billion. So yeah, so and it's a Disney film, so we love our Avatar. Whatever happens.
You know, and she's nice to talk to. That's
Yeah.
why I judge people
drop
by
names.
how can
Go ahead,
they.
drop
When I was
names.
talking to her, all 4 of those were Disney films.
See? See? We're doing great. Go ahead, name dropper.
No, but she was really cool to talk to, actually.
I know.
For Avatar.
I saw the interview. She talked to Jose like they've been together for a long time.
Yeah, we go way back.
Right. That's what she said. She's
way
like,
back to the beginning of that
Zoom. You are the best Zoomer there is. Okay, all right,
Doing
Jose.
it this morning with the early show.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Jose's been on TV since 6 a.m. this morning. So
Since the TV signed up.
Right, okay, let's talk about since the bars went away, the color bars, that is.
We have the top category of the night, everybody, the Best Picture category.
All right, so let's talk about it, Jose.
Okay.
Let's talk about the critically acclaimed, the loved ones, the ones you think. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
It's the biggest category, 10 nominees, and here they are. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, Vanishes of Inisherin. That's hard for me to say, Vanishes of Inisherin. And Elvis, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, Tar, Top Gun, Maverick, and The Triangle of Sadness, and also Women Talking.
Boy, I've got to get busy watching some movies. I think I've only seen Top Gun.
Well, you know when they go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and that's interesting though. But this list, what is it? Avatar, Way of Water, and Top Gun Maverick. The first-time sequels have actually been
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth?
That is interesting.
And when they open it up to 10 categories, 10 films could be in it, that allowed a lot of what we used to call the popcorn films, the pop culture films. Used to be all those, you know, the fun,
That's an inside joke.
the art house films, you know, critically acclaimed, you know, they go to the festival, point font.
With an explanation point.
But they were the ones we can't pronounce. We don't know who they are. So what is that? But now they've opened it up to, first of all, to get more people to watch and to be involved. Nice. When they open up the category itself to put more films, they also open up the membership more to get more people who would vote for these films too. So you got to balance it out. They got the fun-fun-funs all up in there.
Okay, well, top 2 then, Jose. If you've got to list the top 2 of the Best Picture.
Best Picture.
Because it's really hard. I mean, All Quiet on the Western Front, we read that in 8th grade, I think.
Everything Everywhere is going to win this one.
Really?
Yeah, because it's got the momentum.
Wow.
It's not saying that it's the best thing right now, but you like we talk about campaigning, it's peaking at just the right time. And it's this fantasy, and it's got everything you want. You know, it's got the people of color, you know, it's female driven. You got comeback stories. And
history.
I got to remind you of something one of my friends saw this film, and you'll understand. She said, when they got that film made, I wonder what were they smoking when they made this movie? Because it's out there.
And even the trailers
it's out there.
cannot make heads or tails.
I know, you have to really take your time and watch it. So, and real quickly, I know we have to go and talk about the weather, but we have to talk about Rihanna being nominated for Best Song.
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about her later too. So, Greg, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm just standing here like, how does Jose have it all? Like, awesome beard, bow tie wearing, funny, talented, like.
And he's been on the air since 6 a.m. this morning. He was on the morning show in his pajamas, no less.
And he's spry. Okay. I just, dude.
He has life goals. Life goals. Jose has life goals.
Truly,
Smoking
like.
mirrors, my brother.
Just like, jot down a few notes for me.
No notes. Yeah, he has no notes. He does it.
I know. Taking a look outside. Early this evening, we're seeing the cloud cover from the approaching system. Our temperatures are starting to fall. Everything's coming in line for us to see that snowfall. But right now, it is just rain off to our south, switching to snow through Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and back to Oklahoma. A very wet snow for them. Probably a pretty wet snow for us. And look how expansive this is. I was talking about this earlier. The better part of 2,000 miles is how far these winter weather alerts stretch all the way through coastal Maine. Futurecast showing those snow showers setting in about 5 o'clock in the morning. Heaviest snow between about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on to about 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, again, that's the heaviest snow. We'll still see snow after that, possibly even into the evening drive. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see lingering snow showers, especially of the lake effect variety, into early on our Thursday, maybe even Thursday afternoon as those winds turn around. You can kind of see that happening here on Futurecast with just pockmarks of snow showers elsewhere. So we get nickeled and dimed a bit by this thing, but main event, I'm going 2 to 4 inches for us as I skip right past it. Uh-oh. Weather graphics are like, where are we? Okay, about 2 to 4 inches, again, from not only the GFS, the American model, the European model, the Euro. The NAM is a little bit of an outlier, 4.8 inches. This one likes to overdo snowfall, but I will say that I wouldn't be surprised if there's some spots in northwest Indiana that pick up 4 3/4 inches of snow. And the graph, which is an in-house model that we run here, is right smack dab in the middle. So I feel really good about 2 to 4 inches for the city. But I'm going to go 2 to 5 just because we do have that chance in northwest Indiana of seeing some 4.5 or 5.1 inch totals. Again, those will be the jackpot totals. I don't want you to look at this and think, 4 or 5 inches of snow is what to be expected. Now, most of us will pick up about 2 or 3 inches of snow. There's going to be a lot of 3s, a lot of 2.8s, a lot of 3.5s, that type of stuff. And a lot of snow in the forecast just about every single day. Again, getting nickeled and dimed all the way through the middle of next week with a bunch of cool air, too.
All right, Greg, thank you so much. You know what? Your beard's not too bad. I know you're talking about Jose's beard.
The beard is bearding.
Okay, and we love it. And it's warm for the winter.
Yes.
And you've named your snowplow, right, Greg? So Big Red. All right, we're going to talk about Big Red tomorrow. We were talking about since he bought himself a snowplow. He hasn't used it. So, he has video of his snowplow. Okay, and he tomorrow. He has not used it. So, all right, we're going to take a short break.
We'll be right back. We're going to talk about some more nominees, including Best Song. It includes some names you know.
Are we going to sing? We're going to sing because Jose has a great voice. We're going to sing. Plus one snub that has one fan group. Outraged. That's coming up next.
Again.
Oh, yes. Welcome back, everyone. We have one last Oscars category to talk about. Best Original Song.
All right, many are hoping to see big performances at the Oscars.
Well, Lady Gaga and
Gaga.
both nominated. So is the song Applause from Tell It Like a Woman. Gaga sang Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick. Getting her 4th nomination, Lift Me Up from Black Panther. Forever. Rihanna's first nominated song. Also, Natu from RRR. And This Is Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. But Taylor Swift's song it's called Carolina. It's from Where the Crowd Sing. Did not get a nomination despite receiving other nominations, and these Swifties are upset.
That's
You
okay.
can hear the outcry of the Swifties.
Rihanna, I'm saying it now. She's going to win for "Lift Me Up." Written, the director helped write it along with Thames, and this is the first time since Phil Collins that in the same year an Oscar-nominated performer is performing at the Super Bowl.
Excellent.
Boom! Drop the mic.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Remember, you can watch the Oscars March 12th on ABC7. We'll see you at 10 tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Everybody.